Hey everybody, it is Darrell with the Back 40 broadcast, always here on Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time, to give you a nugget or a nudge supporting you in creating your second half of life as your best half. Wow, looking at my hair. I'm in a different location today because I just did a talk this morning for a group of senior executives that are in transition. It's actually a great organization called Leaders in Transition. So I'm in the conference room. I'm speaking a little quieter than I usually would because they're continuing the meeting back there. I was just speaking with them for the last hour and a half. But if you are here for the first time joining us, welcome. We're always here every Wednesday, 10:30, to give you a nugget or a nudge to support you creating your second half of life as your best half of life. Here in the Back 40, we say you have yet to do what you came here to do. And like Frank Sinatra sings, we subscribe to the idea that the best is yet to come, and babe, won't it be fine. So if you are joining us for the first time, welcome. Make sure before you go to grab your top 10 tips for a radical second half below. And be sure to just check us out. Check out our blogs. Check out what we're doing. We have an upcoming event coming up here in Los Angeles in May. We're here to support and empower you as we're supporting and empowering us to play big. Our biggest play has yet to come. So today is a big part of that whole idea of our biggest play has yet to come. I want to bring up an idea that as we move into our 40s, 50s, 60s, we've achieved certain results in life and made things happen, and to a great degree we can rely on those things that we've done before, kind of our strong suits or our ways we go about making things happen. And sometimes things aren't happening, especially if we're carving new territories and we're doing things we haven't done before. Again, if you have yet to do what you came here to do, then it's going to mean learning new things and going into totally new territories. And that's kind of antithetical to people moving into their 40s, 50s, and 60s. It's like, they want to stay in their comfort zone and, what they know how to do, and they don't want to run, risk looking bad or failing and things like that. So the point being is we can be focused and we can be driven to make it happen and figure it out. And, our culture really says, stick to it and do, figure it out and make it work. And I think what happens is we get tight. And I say we in the me sense. A lot of these things are for me anyhow, right? I hope it just makes a difference for you. But in the tendency to get tight and focused and nose to the grindstone and figure it out and, head down, the tightness kind of blocks out creativity. It blocks out, things that could come in that wouldn't come in. They can't come in because too tight. We have no openings. We have no crevices in which anything can enter. Excuse me. I did speak this morning, so my throat's a little warm. Point being is, I was looking up like examples or jokes around tight. And I read this one that said, he's so tight, he only breathes in. So sometimes that's what happens is, we get so tight and focused that we only breathe in. And it's a great time to remember that it's in the relaxation. It's in the relaxation, maybe the letting go of needing to figure it out. Maybe the being willing to say, I don't know, but not to give up, but just in the letting go of the intensity and the tightness. Winston Churchill had the world on his shoulders during World War II, and yet he painted. I mean, he produced a lot of paintings in his lifetime. He painted, and you go, how can someone who's got that much pressure and that much to figure out? He painted. Thomas Edison went fishing all the time. And again, one of the greatest inventors of all time, he went fishing. Now, the interesting thing is he didn't have any bait on his hook. There's no bait on the hook because he wasn't there for fish. He was there for solitude and inspiration. And so when he could relax, new ideas could come in. So, it's something I think for all of us to think about, especially, as we move in our 40s. My son's 22, and he still has kind of a laid back, relaxed way about everything. I hope he continues it. And yet at the same time, those of us moving in 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, can get a little tight. And if we do take on something new, it's like we take it on with a vengeance, right? Because I got to go prove myself fast on this and got to go make this happen. So I bring up the idea of relaxspiration. Yes, and I do like to put words together, and that's my newest word, is relaxspiration. Like, how can we give ourselves, number one, the right to take on doing something we haven't done before, and give ourselves the right to play and play in new playing fields and do experiments and, go into new territories. That's a big deal even in and of itself as one, moves into their second half. But in doing so, how do we give ourselves the freedom to make it playful rather than that we got to prove ourselves right away? It's got to happen right now, and we get all tight about it. How can we relax and allow ourselves to find inspiration and new ideas and innovative thoughts and things that just couldn't come in if we're in the tension of figuring out, making it all work? So I have four tips today, playful little tips for supporting you and me and us who are creating our second half as our best half in digging relaxspiration. How do we dig relaxspiration? Well, first off, I say we want to distinguish the tightness. Sometimes we can all get tight without us necessarily noticing it because it's just kind of the way we are, or we fall into it as an old pattern. And so the first step is just starting to distinguish the tightness, distinguish when it's not being fun anymore. You listen to some of the great motivational speakers and they say, you know what, we don't do anything that isn't fun. And that all sounds sweet, doesn't it? But before we can get to the place where we don't do anything that isn't fun, we have to distinguish an old pattern. The old patterns of nose to the grindstone, figure it out, come up with something to make it work. And there's just no fun in that. And, some of us may be so used to being tight that it's going to take someone else telling us, man, you're a little bit tight. You might want to. That's why in the Back 40, it's all about having buddies and having a community, because we can't see our own nose on our face without a mirror, someone holding up a mirror. So first off, distinguish the tightness, right? And then there's going to be dings going on because I don't have my Yeti mic today. I'm just working off my computer in a conference room. Ignore the logic that says stick to it. Now, I'm not saying give up. I'm just saying give up the idea that you have to figure this out now. Now a lot of us are always, there's different things we could be under pressure about. And you know what? Probably nothing's going to alter the world. We're in our own self-importance, and we're in our own, all importance of this thing having to happen and happen this way. And therefore, the logic says stick to it, keep pressing. And again, I'm not saying be lackadaisical either. So there's a balance here, right? But at some point, when it's really no fun anymore, and that's why a lot of times people just move away from things because they've expired all the fun because they got too intense about it, right? So ignore the logic that says that I have to figure this out right now, okay? Ignore that. Give up. Give it up. Give up the all importance of it. So, really take a step back. Is the world going to be altered whether this gets solved tonight? There's this saying that things always look a lot clearer in the morning, and whether it's night or morning, it's like a lot of times things look a lot clearer when you just step away. That's why they created this word vacation, and sometimes we need to take multiple vacations even during the day. Vacate, get the hell out. Get the ego out, get the intensity out, but give it up that it has to be resolved and it's all important right now. And then guffaw. Find something to laugh about. Laugh at yourself. Laugh at yourself for all the importance that you're putting on this thing. Studies have shown that people who are more playful have an ability to see things from new perspectives. They are able to deal with stress so much better. They actually have proven that people who are more playful have very active lifestyles. So we want to, in the intention to fulfill on what we came here to do. We're not having fun. We're not laughing our way along the path. I don't know that it's really that worth it, because you know what? Nobody's having fun. Any purpose that comes across as too much serious and intensity, I don't know that that's what we're all here for. I think we're here to light things up for everyone and make life better. So that's how you dig. See, that's another playful thing I do. Dig. What is that? Distinguish. D. Ignore. I. Give it up. G. Guffaw. G. Dig. This is how you can start digging Relaxspiration. So hopefully that gives you something to think about for yourself, and I know it always gives me something to think about. I'm here speaking these things for myself and everyone else that it contributes to. And thanks for joining us for our Back 40 broadcast. And again, make sure you grab your top 10 tips for a radical second half below, and go check out on our website, theback40.com, F-O-R-T-Y. We have our INFUSE program, our 3-day, really all about taking everything that's come before in your life and now pointing it towards what you came here to do and who you came here to be. And so check out our INFUSE program happening May 5th through the 7th. Thanks for joining us. See you next week. Have a radical, radical week.